Hello, Julie and Emma. How are you? I'm Chris.
Hello, Chris. How lovely to talk to you. This is Julie.
Hi, Julie.
This is Emma. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. And thank you again so much to both of you for doing this. I'm grinning ear to ear. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm bad at playing it cool, and I am not going to start now.
Oh, it is a pleasure, and such a pleasure to talk to you.
When I was studying Julie's library and also Julie's green room, I was struck by, one, knowing that it is intended for children, but gleaning so much from it personally. Were you considering how much it might mean to adults as well as children?
We've always believed in not talking down to children in the work that we do, in the books that we've written together, and in the other creative projects. We think children are profoundly wise, and we love to invite them to stretch up. And so that was part of it. But we also know that our favorite family programming always offers Easter eggs of some kind for the adult listeners as well. And I think we wanted to try to incorporate that as much as we could.
Seeing as it seems directed to both parents and children, that it is being made by a parent with her child, does the parent-child dynamic play a role in the work as it's being made?
I'll answer that one. Yes, and it's also with my grandchild, Emma's daughter, as well. Occasionally,
oh my gosh,
she'll be
3 generations
joining us on that particular podcast. First of all, it's wonderful, but we've done over 30 books together now, and actually it's like talking to a beloved equal these days, because Emma's got her own family and her own kids. In terms of it being a gift to me, it's phenomenal, because who knew when she was, as they say, knee-high to a grasshopper, that she and I were going to work together one day. And here we are this much time later, having a ball doing it together. And we have different strengths, and we finish each other's sentences and laugh a lot, have a lot of good English tea while we're writing.
I would just add to that the one of the many nice things about working together is that we have a kind of shorthand because of our shared history and because of our shared passions and our shared lives in the arts. You know, we really can speak a kind of shorthand with each other, and we have while we have different strengths, we have very similar taste. And so somehow along the way, we arrived at this understanding, this sort of tacit understanding that if ever we disagreed about something, the best idea wins. And
right.
Somehow we always seem to know exactly which one is the best idea, because whenever one of us says it, both of us goes, that's it, you know.
In all honesty, I highly recommend a tea break or a bathroom break, because when you come back, you say, I've got it. I know what we should do now.
Oh, exactly. Oh, it's so important to step away from a thing. And it's...
Isn't it?
Exactly.
It's just the last thing you think of.
I'm aided by the fact that sometimes I think in terms of music, Chris. And I usually decide, let's say at the beginning of a book, well, do I open with a fanfare or do I open with a pastoral piece? I mean, funnily enough, for me, it really, really helps.
Recently, my little boy started getting into musicals.
Wow.
Of course, as soon as he started showing some interest, I took him straight to Mary Poppins.
Lovely.
And he is just as obsessed as I am.
And now tell me, how old is he? If you say 21, I'll understand.
Right, no, he's almost 5.
Okay.
Oh.
I was thinking of this, knowing that I was going to get to talk to you. If you could recommend something that you've been a part of in your career that most of us wouldn't have encountered. I mean, of course, something like Mary Poppins or The Sound of Music is just right on the tip of everyone's tongue when they think about you and your work. But what's a thing that you've made that you would recommend we go check out?
Well, Emma, come on, give me some help here.
I can answer that, Chris.
Yeah?
One of my personal favorite films of my mother's is a film that not many people are aware of, and it's a film called Hawaii. And it's based on the great James Michener account of the history of the epic novel, or it's not really a novel, it's historical fiction, about the missionaries arriving in Hawaii and all the aftermath of that. But it's a magnificent, sweeping film made by George Roy Hill, and it's Mom, and it's Richard Harris, and it's just beautiful to look at, and it's unlike anything you'll ever see her do. She plays a missionary, and she has a childbirth scene in the movie, and does a lot of things you wouldn't necessarily expect to see her do, so I highly recommend it.
I'll never forget that the director, George Roy-Hill, saying to me that they had a preview of Hawaii in the suburbs of San Francisco or something, and there were a lot of teenagers in the audience, and this birth scene is pretty raw. And he said they were all sitting side by side and smooching and kissing and hugging and everything. By the end of the scene, they were as far apart from each other as they could possibly be because the scene is so graphic. And it always made me smile, but it came out of the director's mouth. So there you are. And, you know, he was an amazing director. I mean, my husband was too, Blake Edwards, and I'm sure you know all his work, like the Pink Panthers and things like that. But, obviously for your son, he might love some of those Panthers.
Oh, absolutely. The Pink Panther movies, all of it. My brothers and I would go around reciting scenes and, you know, doing our best Inspector Clouseau, of course.
Yes, yes, I know that. Yes, I know that, yes.
yes. Nothing more.
Yes, that's right. And you have a mess in your closet, you know.
I wanted to just ask on behalf of everyone who loves you and your work, Julie, are we going to be okay?
Oh, of course we are. As long as we are kind and responsible and do our bit. I mean, it sounds like World War II in a way, but it is a little like that. We do have a responsibility to play our part at this moment, and if we all do what we're supposed to do, whatever it is, and stay kind and compassionate, I think we'll definitely get through. Hope we get to meet one day, Chris.
That it would be a dream, and I promise to play it cooler than I have our first 20 minutes of knowing each other.
No, please don't.